I'm Margaret Brennan. I'm the Foreign Affairs correspondent with CBS News. We've got a great panel for you in the next hour, so I'd like to invite them all up here to the stage to join me. As you just saw in the video here, this is called Resilience Dialogue, and I want all of you, if you reach in your bags or pockets, turn off the ringers of your cell phones, but feel free to tweet during the course of this conversation, hashtag Resilience Dialogue, that's capital R, capital D, and we will have those on social media filtering some of that, finding some of the questions and running those up here on stage so you can participate firsthand in the question and answer session here during our panel. So just turn the ringer off, but please stay part of the conversation if you would. And I want to dive right into it. Our panelists here, you may have some of their bios, but I will introduce them as well. We're very focused in the next hour on security risk, both from conflict and disaster zones, and there are far too many examples to choose from here. We're really going to cover the globe and talk a little bit about here at home as well. You saw in the video the emphasis on the worst refugee crisis this world has seen since World War II, coming out of the disaster in Syria that's destabilizing not just the Middle East, but now threatening Europe. You've got what the UN calls the hottest year on record, a string of natural disasters coming through that. And I want to sort through some of the lessons learned and some of the ways to mitigate that risk. Next to me here is Nancy Lindberg. You know her from the United States Institute of Peace, formerly USAID. She's very focused on some of the fragile environments, whether it's in Africa, whether it's in the Middle East, or beyond, and has some firsthand experience about responding to those disaster zones. Next to her, Janani Vivekananda. I hit both the ends this time, I hope. She's going to speak to us about her expertise on climate change and security. And she's head of the Environment with Climate Change and Security International Alert. Next to her, we have Erwin Redlener. He's the director at the National Center for Disaster Preparedness at Columbia's Earth Institute. He wears a few hats. He's also an advisor to New York's Mayor Bill de Blasio. And rounding us out, face you know well here at the World Bank, Sri Mulyani Indrawati, the Managing Director and Chief Operating Officer here, formerly Indonesia's Minister of Finance. So let me start out broadly here, Nancy, with you. The World Bank says that the number of disasters around the world is increasing, or at least the count seems to be going up in terms of record keeping. What do you see as the greatest points of strain right now?
First of all, I want to applaud the organizers of the Resilience Dialogue and for moving it from a focus where it began on natural disasters to connecting the dots to conflict, which answers your question, in that where I see the strains are the common challenge of fragility, of whether it's a national or more local problem of fragility, where you do not have the capacities and the tools to manage shocks, whether they're natural disaster shocks or shocks coming from extremism or from conflict. And you have them clustering with the greatest and most damaging impact in areas of fragility. And so when we look at how to get ahead of these rising challenges where you've got climate change increasing the tempo and the severity of natural disaster events, and you also have a blip in increase of extremism around the globe, and you've got a number of unabated civil wars. What's common is they are emanating from areas that are fragile. And so the importance of this forum is understanding where we need to go with that, what are the specific ways that we work more upstream instead of waiting for the crisis to unfold.